12 annoying things Americans do abroad that Europeans hate. Traveling is a beloved pastime for many Americans, and Europe is often at the top of their list. With its rich history, breathtaking landscapes, world-class cuisine, and vibrant cities, it's easy to see why. However, certain American habits and customs can sometimes rub Europeans the wrong way. While these differences may seem small, being aware of local etiquette can make a big difference in how you're received abroad. In this video, we're counting down 12 annoying things Americans do in Europe that locals can't stand. Keep these in mind to ensure a smoother and more enjoyable travel experience. 12. Overuse of credit cards. Despite the growth of digital payment systems, cash remains predominant in many European countries. Research shows that certain nations prefer cash or local payment methods, especially in small businesses or rural areas. Therefore, it is essential to have both options available during your travels, particularly when visiting countries like Austria, Switzerland, and Germany. Though there are distinct country-specific patterns in payment usage across Europe, adapting to local customs prevents inconveniences and reflects an appreciation for local practices. 11. Inappropriate jokes or comments. Cultural contexts deeply shape humor. What's seen as harmless or amusing in the United States might be considered offensive or inappropriate in Europe. For example, Eastern European humor often features intricate styles, frequently relying on irony, sarcasm, or dark humor that those from other cultural backgrounds may not easily appreciate or understand. Such differences can lead to misunderstandings or grievances, especially when humor touches on sensitive topics like history, politics, or cultural issues, subjects that carry varying connotations across regions. So, when you're in Europe next, be mindful of your words, as an American joke may not have the same effect there. 10. Disrespecting historical sites. Regardless of their cultural significance, cherished landmarks worldwide are perpetually vulnerable to the actions of inconsiderate tourists. Rather than simply capturing a photograph, some individuals have defaced irreplaceable monuments and historic buildings by inscribing their names or other messages upon them. American tourists may sometimes overlook the profound history and importance associated with European landmarks, which can result in behavior that is perceived as disrespectful. Such actions may foster resentment among local populations and negatively impact the image of American visitors. Therefore, it is crucial to demonstrate respect for historical sites and contribute to their preservation for future generations. 9. Comparing everything to the US. Despite being a developed nation, America isn't universally seen as the greatest, and most Europeans understand this. However, some American tourists have developed the habit of comparing everything to the United States, a practice that many Europeans find offensive and frustrating. Consistently contrasting your European experiences with those in America can come across as a disregard for local culture. Instead, embrace and honor these differences, as recognizing the richness of diverse cultures and traditions can greatly enhance your understanding and enjoyment of international travel. 8. Expecting ice in every beverage. In the United States, ice is a common feature in beverages nationwide. Most American drinks are designed to be consumed cold, and ice effectively keeps them chilled for extended periods. In contrast, in many European nations, beverages are typically served with minimal or no ice. This practice dates back to the 19th century, when ice boxes were standard in American households. Ice, harvested from northern regions of America or Canada, was transported across the Atlantic and sold at a premium in British department stores. Generally, ice is not part of European beverage culture, and it irritates locals when Americans expect ice in every drink. So stick to local norms on your next trip. 7. Being unaware of local etiquette. In several European nations, cultural norms differ considerably, from greetings to dining practices and public conduct, and tourists who overlook these customs risk offending locals or causing misunderstandings. Respect for hierarchy is paramount. For example, in Germany, it is standard practice to greet the highest-ranking individual first, while in Spain, the senior person typically initiates a handshake or a kiss on the cheek. Allowing them to lead in these interactions is advisable to prevent social missteps. Therefore, before visiting a new country, one must familiarize oneself with local etiquette because ignorance is no excuse. Similarly, we have no excuse but to deliver the best entertainment. Stay tuned as we reveal more about the 12 annoying things Americans do abroad that Europeans hate. 6. Overemphasizing heritage. Americans are keen on genealogy, but it often irks Europeans when visitors repeatedly emphasize their European heritage. It's become trendy for American tourists to frequently mention, "I'm of Irish descent," or "my mom was Swedish." However, locals may find this superficial, as they value genuine cultural connections. By focusing on understanding and engaging with the contemporary local culture, you can foster more meaningful interactions. So on your next trip to Europe, remember not to overemphasize your heritage. You might come off as annoying. 5. Complaining about portion sizes. Numerous factors influence the larger portion sizes popular in the United States, including cultural expectations, economic motivations, marketing practices, and historical developments. For example, there is a widespread belief in the US that larger quantities equate to better value, leading to the perception that bigger portions are more advantageous. Typically, portion sizes in European restaurants and cafes are smaller, as there is a greater emphasis on quality over quantity. Criticizing portion sizes may be seen as wasteful or disrespectful to local culinary traditions, so it's best to adapt to local dining practices. Moving on, here is another annoying thing Americans do abroad that Europeans hate. 4. Tipping excessively. In Europe, tipping practices differ significantly from the almost mandatory culture in the United States. Tipping is usually seen as a gesture of appreciation for great service, rather than an obligation, though practices vary between countries. Over-tipping can create awkward situations and might be seen as flaunting wealth. It could also be perceived as disrespectful, as some workers feel they're adequately compensated. So, tip moderately to avoid offending anyone. 3. Expecting everyone to speak English. Most Americans believe that because English is an international language, everyone should be proficient in it. Their travel agents assure them that everyone speaks English. Upon arrival, they expect locals to communicate in English regardless of whether the country is predominantly English-speaking. While English instruction starts early in many European nations, assuming everyone speaks it fluently is often seen as impolite and dismisses the rich tapestry of languages and cultures across the continent. Tourists who make no effort to engage in the local language may be viewed as presumptuous and disrespectful. Thankfully, we respect you and only speak the language you understand. For now, it's all about the 12 annoying things Americans do abroad that Europeans hate. Let's see what's on our number 2 list. 2. Speaking loudly in public spaces. Americans are often perceived as loud because they are encouraged from a young age to share their opinions, a trait seen as confidence back home. However, in Europe, this behavior can come off as overly assertive and intrusive. Americans are known for speaking at high volumes, which contrasts sharply with the more subdued tones preferred by Europeans. Loud speech is often viewed as intrusive or thoughtless, especially in quiet or serious settings like churches or museums, where it disrupts the ambiance. As we near the end of our video on the 12 annoying things Americans do abroad that Europeans hate, let's reveal the number 1 pet peeve. 1. Ignoring dress codes. Americans often see dress codes as limiting individual expression, so many prefer clothing for comfort. In contrast, Europeans tend to dress more formally, particularly for meals and special occasions. In Europe, certain places, like churches and high-end restaurants, enforce strict dress codes, requiring adherence to these standards by avoiding casual attire. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications